Tonight on News Prime, Nigerian Navy deploys armed fighter drones to combat illegal oil bunkering in the Niger Delta region. In business, Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reform says new tax bill will lessen burden on low-income earners. On the foreign scene, United States announces $2.5 billion security assistance package for Ukraine. And in sports, Amorim reaffirms belief in Manchester United amidst challenges. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe, reminding all of our viewers that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. Tonight, we begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu has consented to a proposal to establish a federal university in Southern Kaduna. Vice President Kashif Shettima reviewed these during a condolence visit to the traditional ruler, the Agwam Akulu of Ikulu Chiefdom, on the death of Yohana Kuka. This is contained in a statement by the Vice President's spokesperson, Stanley Onkocha, titled President Tinubu Okay's Establishment of Federal University in Southern Kaduna. The Nigeria Police High Command has warned Nigerians, particularly land speculators, to desist from dragging the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, into civil matters. The police headquarters, through its spokesperson, ACP Muyiwa Adejobi, expressed displeasure, noting with amusement recent allegations made against the IGP in connection with a land dispute involving one Miss Belikisu Isha Kaliu and the Yesufu family. The police headquarters stated it frowns upon such actions and would consider taking legal steps against individuals involved in these unhealthy practices. A Kaduna-based activist and political commentator, Madi Shehu, has allegedly been arrested by the Department of State Services, DSS. Reports say Shehu was arrested over a fake video bordering on national security matter, which has gone viral. Shehu had reportedly shared an old video on social media and falsely accused the Nigerian government of plans to site a French military base in the northwest. He had claimed through his lawyer, Mohammed Abubakar, that he was arrested for calling on President Bola Tinubu to probe former President Muhammadu Buhari and some of his top officials. However, former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, in a statement from his firm signed by a lawyer, A.A. Sharif, alleged that Shehu was arrested in Kaduna when he tried to take advantage of his wife, Aisha, for a sum of $500,000. The presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in the 2023 general election, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has denied entering into a power-sharing agreement with Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. Speaking in an interview, Kwankwaso described the rumors as unfounded and malicious, alleging that Atiku's camp had been meeting with clerics and regional leaders to propagate the claim. The former Kano State governor noted that since leaving the PDP for the NNPP, he has found peace and a sense of relief from what he called the humiliation he and his supporters endured while in the leading opposition party. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has presented 1.188 trillion naira as budgetary estimate for the year 2025 to the Victor Oko-Jumbo-led State House of Assembly for consideration and approval. This figure is an increase from the 2024 budget of 800 billion naira presented to the Assembly. Governor Fubara presented the 2025 appropriation bill shortly after delivering his address to the 5 lawmakers at the Assembly Auditorium, administrative block of Government House in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Fubara stated that the 2025 budget, christened Budget of Inclusive Growth and Development, would be implemented to achieve sustainable economic growth, accelerate the development of the state, while improving the living standards of all residents in Rivers State. The Nigerian Navy is set to deploy armed fighter drones to intensify efforts against illegal oil bunkering and pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta region. According to the Navy, these advanced drones will penetrate remote areas where illicit activities thrive, which conventional drones have struggled to access. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala disclosed these during the flag-off ceremony of Operation Delta Safe 2 at the Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder jetty in Port Harcourt. Ogala explained that Operation Delta Sanity 2 built upon the initial Operation Delta Sanity launched in January 2024 to curb economic sabotage. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Kwara State Command, says 929 people were arrested for hard drugs-related offenses between January and December 2024 in the state. State Commander Fatima Mabola disclosed this during a news conference at the agency's headquarters in Ilorin, the state capital, noting that those arrested included 839 males and 90 females in the state within 1 year. She explained that the command conducted a series of activities to suppress the supply and demand for hard drugs, noting that 2,642,103 kilograms were seized within the year in review. A federal high court in Abuja has granted the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC's) application to freeze 67 bank accounts domiciled in different banks over alleged 52.9 million naira fraud. Justice Emeka Winte granted the application after the commissioner's lawyer, Martha Babatunde, moved an ex parte motion to the effect. The motion filed by Miracle Amanize sought an order empowering the executive chairman of the anti-graft agency, Ola Olukoyede, or any other officer of the commission empowered by him to instruct the managing directors of the affected banks to stop all outward payments, operations, or transaction, including any bill of exchange in respect of the bank account, pending the conclusion of an investigation. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojeje II, says there is no reason Nigeria should be a poor nation. The monarch, in a statement, also emphasized the untapped potential of cassava derivatives such as sorbitol, starch, and ethanol. Industries, he said, is worth billions of dollars globally, but underutilized in Nigeria. Oni commended the bold initiative to convert 20,000 hectares of land into mechanized cassava plantations, describing it as a groundbreaking step towards redefining Nigeria's agricultural landscape. Reports say security has been tightened at the Nigeria-Niger Republic borders, especially within the Sokoto axis, following an alert on the activities of the terror group popularly called Lakurawa. However, officials of the Nigeria Immigration Service say there is no cause for alarm. According to reports, the Nigeria Immigration Service, as well as other security agencies, have stepped up efforts to frustrate incursions of illegal migrants into the country as they closely monitor the borders. Also, the deployment of recently inaugurated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Technology Innovation Complex, also called BATIC, has provided an edge for the service to secure the country's land borders, as it is fitted with sophisticated technology gadgets for surveillance, monitoring, and evaluation of happenings at all borders. The Nigerian Army's 34th Artillery Brigade of Binze Owerri, Imo State, has celebrated its annual West African social activities, also called WASA, for the year 2024. The colorful event brought together dignitaries, soldiers, and community members, showcasing cultural diversity and the Army's commitment to fostering peace and unity in Imo State. Our correspondent, Samarachi Ibe, was there for us.
The event showed cultural dance, a tug-of-war competition, the symbolic lighting of the fire, all aimed at fostering unity and strengthening bonds among soldiers and the host community.
God bless you. God bless you, the team.
Representing the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, the Commissioner for Homeland Security and Vigilante, Modestus Osakwe, commended the Army for their great efforts in ensuring a peaceful Imo State. He also praised for the repose of the souls of fallen heroes who paid the ultimate price for the nation's peace.
On this note, I say a big thank you to the officers and soldiers of the brigade for their great efforts in ensuring a peaceful Imo State. As we go into the new year, I urge you all to redouble your efforts to ensure the state is free from all forms of criminality and illicit social vices. For our dearly departed personnel, may their souls rest in eternal peace.
The commander of the 34th Artillery Brigade, Brigadier General Usman Lawal, thanked his officers and soldiers for their dedication throughout 2024, highlighting the brigade's achievements during the year and their role in sustaining peace in the region.
Achievements of the brigade so far has led to the reduction of crime, particularly kidnappings, armed robbery, and activities of the secessionist group. This has been achieved mostly through deterrence and threat protection in timely manner and by the neutralization of criminal elements. Additionally, the brigade has been able to dislodge the unknown IPOP ESN from their various strongholds.
In his remarks, the representative of the General Officer Commanding 82 Division Enugu, Brigadier General Olayinka Zubairu, spoke on the importance of civil-military relationship, urging criminal elements to lay down their weapons and embrace peace.
Civil-military relations have been very, very wonderful. We don't used to have it so good in the past. As you can see, the Commissioner of Police was here. The civil defense representative, all other security agencies, all of them have been here. My advice, the message for them is to drop their weapons, to drop their criminal activities and join up to make the country a very peaceful and progressive nation.
The event also saw the recognition of outstanding officers and individuals for their exceptional contributions. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Amarachi. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime here on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the News Prime returns, President Tinubu commends NNPCL over the reopening of Warri Refinery. We'll bring you those details as well as more stories from foreign and sports segments. Do stay with us. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime on Global Television with Uyi Agmofwebe. We appreciate you for your time. Now let's talk business. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says the 125,000 barrel per day Warri Refining and Petrochemicals Company in Warri, Delta State is now operational. This is coming barely a month after the commencement of operations at the 60,000 barrel old Port Harcourt refinery. The company's Group Chief Executive Officer, Melekari, made the announcement during a tour of the facility, as a video post showed Kyari addressing a tour team, which included the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has commended the reopening of the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL. The president, in a statement issued in Abuja by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, described the reopening of the refinery as another remarkable achievement in 2024 that has strengthened Nigerians' hope in his administration. The statement says, again, this expresses the administration's determination to ramp up local refining capacity and make Nigeria a hub for downstream industrial activities in Africa, with the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company going into operation after several years of inactivity. The president further noted with confidence that with the 125,000 barrels per day Warri Refining and now operational at 60% capacity, his administration's comprehensive plan to ensure energy efficiency and security is entirely on course. In a different development, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, says the federal government's proposed tax reforms are designed to ease the burden on low-income earners. In an interview posted on his X platform, he said the current tax system introduced in 2011 has become regressive due to high inflation and a lack of review, pushing many low-income earners into higher tax brackets. This, according to Oyedele, means individuals earning as little as $400,000 a month pay the same top marginal income tax rate as those earning $20 million per month. That apparently lacks equilibrium altogether. So let's find some equity. Obviously, that's what this committee is saying. Currency outside banks has hit a new high of 4.65 trillion naira in November 2024, representing 95.4% of the total currency in circulation as Nigerians grapple with persistent cash scarcity despite efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to ease the situation. Now, data from the Express Bank shows a significant increase in cash held outside the banking system, up by 364.38 billion naira, or 8.5% from 4.29 trillion naira in October. Total currency in circulation also climbed to 4.88 trillion naira, reflecting a month-on-month rise of 328.91 billion naira, or 7.2%. The Federal Ministry of Finance has disclosed that the government of Saudi Arabia is exploring the possibility of investing in Nigeria's infrastructure sector. This is coming after a high-level Nigerian delegation visited the oil-rich Gulf nation. In a statement by the spokesman of the ministry, Mohammed Manga, in Abuja, he says the delegation, led by Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, was said to have engaged key Saudi ministers and institutions in bilateral talks during the visit. The delegation held strategic talks with the Saudi Development Fund to explore potential areas of collaboration aimed at boosting infrastructure and economic development in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says the economic diplomacy carried out by President Bola Tinubu around the world is generating the desired results. Speaking at a meeting with President Tinubu in Lagos, Edun noted that he had embarked on fruitful economic diplomacy across all continents: Brazil in South America, China and India in Asia, as well as Germany and France in Europe and elsewhere. He said as a follow-up on economic diplomacy, President Tinubu had led a delegation to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia recently to ensure the success of the developing relationship between him and Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince. On the foreign scene, tributes have been pouring in for Jimmy Carter, the former United States President and Nobel Peace Laureate, who rose from humble beginnings in rural state of Georgia to lead the nation and died aged 100. Carter had been in hospice since mid-February 2023 at his home in Plains, Georgia, the same small town where he was born, and once ran a peanut farm before becoming governor and running for the White House.
Are you aware of everything he's done for the African continent as far as wiping out the guinea worm disease, monitoring elections, humanitarian things, Habitat for Humanity, helping people in anywhere they might need help? His number one goal was never getting wealthy, it was helping people.
He has been an outstanding statesman, not just for our country, but around the world. And I think he was undervalued. However, those things that he accomplished after he was in office, I think really need to be honored.
Carter was the longest-lived U.S. president, an outcome that seemed unlikely when the Southern Democrat revealed in 2015 that he had brain cancer. It looks like a life lived, well-lived, and living from 0 to 100. Let's still stay in the U.S. now, where President Joe Biden has declared January 9 a national day of mourning for Jimmy Carter. President Biden said this in a White House proclamation calling on Americans to visit their places of worship to pay homage to the late U.S. leader. He also invited the people of the world who share in the grief to join in the solemn observance. In another development, the United States has announced a $2.5 billion security assistance package for Ukraine as Washington races to provide aid to Kyiv before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Trump's November election victory has cast doubts on the future of American support for Ukraine, providing a limited window for billions of dollars in already authorized assistance to be disbursed before he is sworn in next month. The said aid includes a $1.25 billion military drawdown package, which allows the Pentagon to take weapons from U.S. stocks and send them quickly to the battlefield. Let's come closer to home now. Kenya police have forcibly detained dozens of demonstrators and a senator, firing tear gas into small peaceful rallies protesting recent alleged abductions that have enraged the country. Security forces in the East African nation have been accused of carrying out dozens of illegal detentions since youth-led anti-government demonstrations in June and July this year. The latest disappearances have primarily involved young people who have criticized President William Ruto online, with rights groups dismissing police denials of involvement and calling for action. Scores of protesters rallied in the capital, Nairobi, today, some brandishing images of those who had disappeared, calling for their release and an end to the alleged abductions. Azerbaijan says Moscow had promised to punish those responsible for the downing of an Azerbaijan Airlines plane that Baku says was shot by Russian air defenses. The Azal Embraer 190 jet crash-landed in Kazakhstan on December 25, killing 38 of the 67 people on board. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev has demanded that Moscow accept responsibility for mistakenly shooting the plane as it tried to make a scheduled landing at Grozny Airport in South Russia. Russia has not confirmed that one of its air defense missiles hit the plane, though President Vladimir Putin says the systems were active at the time and he was sorry for the incident because it took place within Russian airspace. Let's catch some quick excitement from the world of sport now. The Confederation Cup of African Football, CAF, has fined Libya $50,000 and mandated the country plays 2 matches behind closed doors following incidents of misconduct by supporters and officials during their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifier against Benin on November 18 in Benghazi. This sanction follows a series of controversies surrounding Libya, including a highly publicized incident in October where Nigeria's Super Eagles faced deliberate mistreatment ahead of AFCON qualifier. Libya diverted the Nigerian team's aircraft to an unsafe airport, causing significant delays and forcing CAF to award Nigeria 3 points after the match was cancelled. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has reportedly set his sights on Nigerian and Nottingham Forest defender Ola Aina as a potential replacement for veteran right-back Kyle Walker. Walker has faced heavy criticism this season for inconsistent performances, which have been linked to Man City's underwhelming start to the 2024-2025 campaign. Reports say Aina has emerged as a top candidate for the role, with Man City viewing him as a long-term solution. However, Guardiola's side faces stiff competition as Aina's impressive displays have caught the attention of several top clubs, including Turkish giants Galatasaray, who are also monitoring his progress. Manager Ruben Amorim believes Manchester United are on the right path despite current challenges, declaring, "I have seen enough to recognize that we have many of the ingredients we need for success." Amorim's remarks, penned before United's clash with Wolverhampton Wanderers, resonate powerfully as the club gears for their final game of 2024. In the latest United review, Amorim addresses fans with a candid reflection on progress and the hurdles ahead. Red Devils will host Newcastle United on Monday night, with Amorim's rallying cry for forming part of the match-day program. As we end News Prime here tonight, let's take a quick look at the summary. The Nigerian Navy is set to deploy armed fighter drones to intensify efforts against illegal oil bunkering and pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta region. The business chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, says the federal government's proposed tax reforms are designed to ease the burden on low-income earners. On the foreign scene, the United States has announced a $2.5 billion security assistance package for Ukraine as Washington races to provide aid to Kyiv before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. And finally, in sports tonight, we told you manager Ruben Amorim believes Manchester United are on the right path despite current challenges, declaring, "I have seen enough to recognize that we have many of the ingredients we need for success." And that's all we have for you tonight on News Prime, but here's a quick reminder that you can find Global Television on DSTV channel 365 Star Times 276, as well as free-to-air on Nigecomsat. We encourage all of our viewers across the world to follow us across all of our social media platforms using the handle at Global TV NG, as well as others as you now find on your screen, so you can interact and engage with us. And that's our news tonight. On behalf of the entire production team here based in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, we say thank you for watching. I am Uyi Agumufugbe.
Yeah.